why Elena was attracted to Damon. First of all, her parents died.
Pow.
Lies of the Vampire Diary love triangle. This is how the writer set us up to think, number one, Stefan was the good guy, Damon was the bad guy, and the obvious choice that Elena should have chose was Stefan. No, I don't agree with that. I think that they were right in having Elena end up with Damon over and over and over again, and I'm about to explain why. So buckle up.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Hey y'all, what's up? And welcome to Shanel's world. Whoop, 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 whoop. Step in, take off your shoes. I didn't forget. We have manners over here. And get comfortable. Here at Shanel's world, we talk all things TV and pop culture with you guys, the citizens. Come here. Come here. If you, first of all, if you love the Vampire Diaries, I feel like you are a special person. I feel like you were given an opportunity of the upper echelon and you have not squandered it. The Vampire Diaries is one of those vampire shows, like they always say Twilight versus the Vampire Diaries, and I never understand because Twilight is a movie and Vampire Diaries is a legacy. Like, what I mean is, The Vampire Diaries is a television show series and Twilight is a movie series, and neither have crossed paths, so they're not really in the same category. But The Vampire Diaries is that girl, and CW is definitely getting her bag, okay, honey? When The Vampire Diaries coming on every week, because guess who was watching it? Your girl. Valentine's Day may be over because this video isn't dropping on Valentine's Day. I'm actually recording on Valentine's Day alone.
Here I am. Here we are. Yes. Another week.
But let's get into it because this is too juicy, girl. Now, The Vampire Diaries is one of the most iconic and divisive shows in television history, specifically when it comes to the love triangle, okay? The writers knew what they were doing from the very beginning. Like, they literally set the stage. Like, they tell us who the good guy is, they tell us who the bad boy is, and they show how Elena is attracted to both. And they show what's the obvious choice to choose versus what she actually decides to do. But I want to get into it, and I got my computer, my laptop, and my notes because the Vampire Diaries mastered this formula that was done so well with the love triangle that even years later, people to this day are still arguing about whether they're team Delena or they're team Stelena. And it's really just like this big conversation because they set it up so perfectly to where they showed the flaws and the character flaws, but they also presented it and kind of manipulated the viewers and made us think a lot of different things. And that is especially a dig at Stefan, who we're gonna get into later. Now, Stefan was portrayed as the safe, stable, perfect boyfriend, right? Like the ideal good guy, like just way more chill, calm, relaxed, the protector, the leader, right? And so it was very clear in between him and Damon, who's this rugged, passionate, sometimes erratic, chaotic character who does things and acts as if he doesn't feel. It seems like, okay, you need to go with Stefan because that's going to be a life of security, that's going to be a life of safety and protection. But that's not actually how it is. No. That's not how it's actually going to go, okay? I'm not concerned about who's the most stable. And I'm not concerned about who seems to be the good guy, but who was best for Elena's reality. This is why I feel like Stefan clocked out. In every world, he would not have been right. We know in the Vampire Diaries, there's multiple versions of Elena. There's 3 doppelgangers of Elena. And so in different worlds, Elena and Stefan never end up together. So not only can you not change the course of history, but every time she's finding herself in these different situations, whether she's Elena, whether she's Katerina, whether she's, who was the other one? Catherine. Is because she is finding the cycle of being in the midst of immense chaos. If you like it or not, Elena was always meant to choose Damon. And this is why I'm going to stand by it. But I have to lay the groundwork for you so you're not automatically hating me and cussing me out in the comments afterwards. You can definitely do that. Feel free to, but yeah. And happy Valentine's Day. If you're single like me, just know anything can change in a blink of a moment, in the blink of an eye. Let's talk about how the writers set up the love triangle, right? So first thing is Stefan. So they set up Stefan to be the good guy. And in example, episode 1, Stefan's introduction, he's literally framed as almost like perfect. Like he's brooding, self-controlled. He's the love interest of Elena. He gets Elena's attention. You know, he watches Elena at school, which is actually kind of freaky, but he watches Elena at school. He, you know, gives her longing looks and he's, you know, trying to rescue her from whatever situation she's in. you know, Caroline trying to befriend her, like funny stuff like that. And it makes it feel like he's the destined choice because he is the protector. He's the one who cares for her. And in that moment, it's just like, oh, wow, like what a man, right? And then compare that to Damon's entrance. It's violent. It's immediately threatening. He has attacked Vicky. He's mocked Stefan for being so restrained, which is a note because he actually knows the real Stefan, but we'll get into that. Right away, Damon's like, oh yeah, we can't trust this guy. Like, he's not the protector. Like, he's the antagonist. If Stefan is the protagonist, then Damon is definitely the antagonist. And that's how the writer set it up. And it was very intentional because there's an allure about the bad boy. You know what I'm saying? And this allure could be found not just in the Vampire Diaries, but literally in every show. Like Gossip Girl, Chuck versus Nate. Let's not even get into that because the answer is obviously Chuck. The answer is obviously Chuck. Gilmore Girls with Jess versus D. Listen, like there's so many different examples of the good guy versus the bad guy and how the good guy is not really the good guy at all. I think the best example of that, not in the love triangle context, but in just the good guy trope thing, is the way that they did You and the way that Penn Badgley kind of played Joel Goldberg and, you know, presented him as this good, fun-loving author guy who just, you know, and is secretly a murderer. So, you know, the good guy trope, bad boys are appealing because they are usually very attractive. Yeah, they look good, okay? Even if they're not the most attractive, they have an attractive quality about them that makes audiences kind of, you know, fawn over and, you know, gaze upon them and get interested. You know, they're reckless, they're passionate, unpredictable. So Damon does a lot of things that we don't know that he's gonna do, and he just does it. Or the more you watch the show, I mean, by season 5, I knew when Damon was gonna get reckless and do something crazy. Like, I felt it in my soul. Like, I felt like, oh, the show's too calm. Damon's about to fuck some shit up. You know what I'm saying? You know, all the stuff that makes for the high drama, that makes for the high stakes, putting everything on the line. Like, the bad boy makes that up in that role and in that character. There's a reason that TV kind of values passion over stability, especially in romances, because when it comes to an unpredictable romance, it's like, oh my God, you don't know what could happen. Like, today you guys can hate each other, the next day you can love each other. It's just drama here, drama there. It's like a soap opera, but in love. And that makes for good TV because that's gonna always make for good content. The consistent breakups, the makeups, the random, you know, the random hookups. It's all a part of the drama of the television show.
Because what I'm about to say is probably the most selfish thing I've ever said in my life.
We just have a couple that is vanilla and happy and comfortable. It's boring. It's in our innate natures to want more, to desire more adventure and freedom and fun. It doesn't mean we can't settle with a partner that is, you know, more calming and more at peace, but we want that, you know, that adventure, that dangerous side. We want to be attracted. We want to, you know, do that, whatever it's rooted in. That was kind of how they shaped it. And so, yeah, it made it seem like, oh, no, because Stefan is perfect. Like, he's chill. He's a vampire, but he's not tripping. He's cool. But Damon, I'm telling y'all, Damon was the right choice. He was the right choice. Another thing is, you know, stability is fun, but it's not exciting. Like I said, I think I brought this up when I was bringing up the whole thing about having another couple. But TV needs like emotional tension, you know? So bad boys kind of create that naturally. And it feels like when they do finally have the moment and they break through and they kiss, or they have like they get together or they say I love you, it's like, oh, finally. Like, it's the greatest slow burn versus a couple that's happy, always been happy, and then never gonna stop being happy. Like, it's like, okay, y'all happy, but dang, I'm not watching 7 seasons of being happy, and that's just real. This just real because this is TV, this is drama. Give me something I'm excited about. So yeah, that's why they definitely set those up intentionally. Now, us as an audience, we're real, okay? We're real. We're here today. We're living in the real world, okay? But why was Elena? And let's not even get into Elena, because I could read Elena Gilbert for film, but I know everybody else has, so I'm not gonna do it. Not on this video. But this is the reason I think a lot of people don't understand, or they choose not to understand, why Elena kept choosing Damon. So the show set it up to where we just knew and we would gravitate towards Stefan and know that Stefan was perfect for Elena, especially after this dark time she was coming out of. But this is why Elena was attracted to Damon. First of all, her parents died. Pow. First First of all, her parents died, and it wasn't just like, oh, they died tragically separate away from me. It was that they are all drowning and you were the only person that survived, and you don't know how you survived. Your other two parents drowned and you don't even know the whole lore and backstory behind what happened with that, and you're having survivor's guilt, and you lost both your parents and you only have your brother, and you just thrown back into the world. You go to high school the next morning. So chaos. It's absolute chaos. How do you continue to start going to the doctor's appointments? Did they have insurance on their stuff when they, you know, these are rich families, so I'm sure she wasn't just ass out of luck, but she was in a life of chaos. Her mind was mentally not there. Like, Elena didn't go to therapy. Elena wrote in that book every season.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
She never went to therapy. And it's just like, girl, your life was in chaos. Her life was in strict chaos. And the thing is that Stefan offered this like fantasy of a comforting reality, but that wasn't sustainable. That wasn't real to her current situation right there, right? So then she became a vampire against her will. Stefan wanted her to remain human so bad. All of the versions of Elena had turned into vampires. Even after she turned into a vampire, Stefan was really trying to protect her. Like, he really wanted her to go back human, but since he couldn't do that, he was trying to just not get too much in the way of anything and like give her the easiest thing. But Damon accepted her. He's like, girl, you're a vampire. Okay, like, this is what you gotta do. This is what you need to do to survive. You're just together, period. You know, he didn't say it as sassy as I just did. But he said that to her. Meanwhile, Stefan was trying to protect her, but you can't protect somebody from reality.
I don't want to be saved.
Clock it, you can't protect somebody from reality. And then number 3, constant danger. Elena was always putting herself in consistent danger. And I say this very strongly because Elena would do things, especially when the character tells you, get out of my face now before I end you. Why do you say, well, no, I'm not going to stay until you tell me what's going on?
Fuck you, bitch. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Back the fuck up. I'll knock the fuck out you. Damn, man. Hey.
I'm not playing. So Elena was finding herself in consistent danger. Again, Stefan tried to protect her from the danger, which is what he's supposed to do. And Damon would really let it go on. He would let it go on until she knew, damn, this is about to die. I need to, okay, you know what? Because I love her. Let me go save her. Boom, just like that. So Elena's life was chaos, and that's why she continued to gravitate towards Damon even. And then, of course, I understand that in the show they had like a spell or something binding them, but let's just dismiss that for what I'm talking about right now, because this is like, you know, okay, you know what I'm saying? The psychology of trauma and instability. People that often experience instability like feel disconnected from safe relationships. Like, they feel like, oh, they're just waiting for the moment that you're going to mess up, or oh, they're waiting for the moment that you're going to turn on them and they're not going to be the person that you said you were, and things of that nature. And I'm getting guilty of that too in relationships that I've been in, because I'm used to the instability of life, and I'm getting to a point now where I'm starting to enjoy stability in life with certain things, right? But Elena didn't choose the chaos, right? Like, she didn't choose for her parents to get into the accident and die and she be the only one surviving, and then she didn't choose to turn into a vampire, and she didn't choose to have all these people trying to kill her and things of that nature, right? There's probably things she could have done better, but it wasn't like the choice for her to be in this reality. And so because you didn't decide this, you don't need someone who has decided to put you in a reality that's safe and that's cornered and that's not where you are really now. She just decided, you know, it wasn't even being put into something that fit. Damon just fit. Damon just fit into her life, and as toxic as they were and annoying as they were, Damon fit into the reality of her now. Damon has somehow fit into the chaos of their lives, right? So, okay, the question then becomes, was Stefan ever really a good choice, and was he a good guy? And before I get into that, if you made it to this point of the video, then you gotta love the Vampire Diaries as much as I do, and you gotta love TV and pop culture as much as I do. And girl, I've been dropping the videos for you guys. I've been dropping the hit. We just talked about the shows on ABC Family. Like, we really have been getting into the gets of the gas, and I want you all to be citizens with me. What are you doing? But yeah, y'all, if y'all enjoyed this video, if y'all enjoyed this topic, if y'all are following through with me and keeping up, then guess what? You need to become a citizen of Shanel's world so you can have some say-so in our community, okay? I'm going to be doing polls and very most of the important things of what videos you need to do next. And for that, you all need to be there. Period. Remember, y'all, it costs nothing to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And until then, let's get back to the rest of the video. I talk about how the good guy ain't really the good guy. Now, at first glance, the Vampire Diaries frames Stefan as this logical and safe choice for Elena, right? So in episode 1, Stefan approaches Elena with patience and understanding, presenting himself as calm and composed compared to Damon and his recklessness. He appears to be rational when he, warns Elena about Damon, and he warns Elena about the dangers and things of that nature, always positioning himself as somebody who has control over the emotions, because the biggest thing a vampire can do is turn their emotions off. He made decisions for Elena's best interest, or so he claimed, right? So how do we really know what's best for somebody? But in season 1, episode 6, Stefan doesn't really want to get into nor confront the reality of the dark reality of Elena's vampirism and how it came to be. And he just kind of believes she's not ready to handle the truth. But it's really just a form of control, because you can't control somebody's reality, but you can maybe give them the tools to be able to navigate and course through it, right? It almost feels like Stefan kind of bullies Elena. At first, you try to hide all of the real stuff with her, but then once you decide she deserves to know about vampirism and about the realities of it, you position yourself and you almost kill her just to show her the importance of morality and how this world is really to be. That is not your decision to teach someone, and I'm sure Elena dealt with that every single day outside of them. So that was really selfish, I feel like, on Stefan's part. Another thing though is that he drunk the animal blood to resist his urges. Now we learned that season 1, episode 1, Stefan was only feeding on animal blood for a time, which made him feel like that he was way more superior than Damon, because Damon's feeding on people. He's like, oh, I don't have to feed on people. I will control myself. I will, do stuff with the animals. It will be what it is. Now it comes with consequences, right? So it's not like it's erasing his dark nature. It's just literally suppressing it. And then we realize that once it's season 2, episode 5, he his attempts to not feed, it backfires, and then he just goes on this spree. And then we learn so much more about Stefan, who was supposed to be the good guy that wasn't so good. First things first, he was the Ripper. He was going to a whole small city, population 1,500, population 5,700, population 10,000 people, and draining every single man, woman, and child there, leaving none alive. Time and time again. That's the good guy to y'all. That's who the good guy is. Someone who suppresses the dark realities of themselves and is not honest. We had to learn about that. Season through season, we had to learn about that. He turned... Damn it! Let me calm down. He convinced, and coerced a young, impressionable Damon to turn into a vampire, so that he wouldn't be alone, pressuring him into transitioning, as Catherine has already started his transition. Damon is villainized for killing and turning and killing and turning. So is Klaus, which he should be. But nobody really wants to talk about how Stefan is really not given the same scrutiny as everybody else. He's really not given the same scrutiny. He's not forced to face things. And then he killed Enzo. When the whole thing of, oh, kill Elena or kill 100 people. Maybe kill Elena. In every reality, you guys aren't together anyway. How selfish is it to sacrifice 100 lives for one? He kills him in a fit of rage. There he is, almost ready to live his life with Bonnie, a black female character, the only one who has been carrying y'all season after season, coming through for y'all, becoming a witch, almost dying for y'all, time and time again, over and over and over again, stuck and trapped in different realities, portals, and things of that nature, and you killed her only love interest in a fit of rage. You monster. You selfish monster. Yeah, I said that, and I'm standing by it. Let's talk about the good guy trope. Briefly. My issue is that Stefan kind of embodies the idea that good guys are often entitled to a woman's choices in time simply because he is good.
What?
No, because think about it. The guys will be like, oh, I'm one of the good guys. I don't know why I get treated like this. I'm one of the good guys. I'm one of the good guys. First thing, they don't respect when you disagree. Stefan frequently made decisions for Elena, like assuming that he knew what was best for her. And I'm talking in real life too, but I'm using the Vampire Diaries as a kind of an example. They lack real communication. Like the good guy often doesn't have good communication. They always say communication is their first love language, and then it's not their love language because they don't know how to communicate. Instead of engaging in open discussions, Stefan usually shuts down, withdraws, or he uses his past as a way to kind of like deflect away from the situation. So like what was weird was like I noted season 4 episode 6 when Elena tells Stefan that she has feelings for Damon. The way he reacts, like, it's kind of weird because instead of reacting like, wow, you love someone else, like why, he kind of like just feels like he's betrayed by her, and he notes all of the things that he's done for her. And like, it's like, just because you have done things for me doesn't mean that I still don't have feelings for someone else who has done other things for me that you don't understand. Being a good guy, it does not, and doing good things for someone doesn't make you entitled to their time or their energy or their effort when they're not feeling it towards you. Like if y'all are in an engaged relationship, sure, but a lot of men feel the entitlement, especially when somebody wants to leave or somebody wants to withdraw, or when they're getting criticism, because they're like, no, I'm a good guy. You're a good guy, but your communication sucks. Or you're a good guy, but I don't feel like we should be together. Or you're a good guy, but so and so and so and so. And it's not always a dig at them, but it's rather something they can work on, and they just can't really accept it. So they go through all the things that they've done for you and how they've helped you, but that doesn't take away from the fact of what the situation is. Like Stefan's going through all this stuff, but Elena still doesn't want to be with you, bruh. This dynamic within the love triangle reinforces a major theme in storytelling. Major theme, right? So just because someone is positioned as the good guy doesn't mean that they actually are. You know, the term, the idea that goodness entitles a man to a woman's love is something that we see on TV fairly often. But Stefan, I think, is one of the clearest examples of how good guy doesn't always mean the right guy. And Elena, she knew how to not to pick him, okay? So listen. Gosh, I feel like Damon met her reality. Damon met where she was at. Damon was the chaos that she was going through in her life. Her life was never going to be stable. With Damon, Elena changed, and Damon changed when he was with her, and he was still passionate, but he made decisions thinking and giving a damn about somebody else for a split second. And Damon grew, and while Stefan kind of regressed the more that he knew Elena and the more that he was like not getting access to her. And so for more reasons than one, and I know there's a million videos on YouTube letting you know and defending Delena, Delena was definitely the best choice. And I think that Delena was the inevitable choice because Stefan didn't fit Elena's current reality. Lesson learned, Damon was not perfect, but neither was Stefan, okay? I think that not a lot of people talk about how Stefan really wasn't like the good guy in that way. He made better decisions than Damon, especially in the earlier seasons, but he wasn't perfect, right? But neither was Stefan. Elena's choice makes sense, right? Because Damon fit her reality, not the fantasy of what could have been. And Damon evolved with her around, whereas Stefan regressed and he kind of stayed trapped in his patterns when he was with her, when he had her interest at whatever times that he did. My takeaway from this, and I think the takeaway for everyone, okay, and you don't have to listen to me, I could just be, hey, what do I know, right? 25 years on this earth, I don't know too much. But don't mistake passion for real love, okay? Because eventually the passion dies out. And not like in that way, right? Like I think in relationships, we always are going to have, you know, passion needs to get reignited. There's a relationship, it requires work, it requires time, and passion doesn't always equal love. It could just equal lust. So don't mistake passion for real love, but that doesn't mean that passion isn't love. It just means that there needs to be more than just passion that brings you all together and chaos that brings you all together. Don't let the idea of a perfect partner keep you from seeing their flaws, right? So Elena could have chosen to stay with Stefan, and every time Stefan would be slightly controlling or tweak out a little bit or overreact or, you know, suppress an emotion, you know, Elena could have ignored it, and she could have been with a man who eventually would have snapped. And eventually, we don't know what he would have done to her, but he wiped out everybody everybody on the planet and probably could have wiped out more people. And you know she was not okay with that when she found out about that. You know she wasn't. Not at all. Don't ignore the red flags. Don't ignore the red flags, okay? There are some red flags we just shouldn't be compromising on, and we shouldn't be looking past. And we shouldn't just be settling for what we think is supposed to be good or perfect. We need to make an informed decision, but in the end, it is love, you know? Trauma bonding isn't love, though. Trauma bonding creates familiarity between two broken people. Find someone who grows with you, right? Not someone who rescues you, which I think is why Stefan would have never worked, because Stefan was always trying to save Elena from a reality that she was in. I don't need saving. I am here and this is happening. You're along for the ride with me, which Stefan, he got a part of that, but Damon, he was already in there. So you already know how this going. Well, oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't expect that to finish this. I'm actually super excited. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, because I definitely did just want to get into it briefly for the holidays, you know, for the Valentine's Day. Hopefully this comes out before February is over. No, it definitely should. It definitely should, Bestie, for Black History Month. But if you did like this video, again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, in Shanel's world, we talk all things TV and pop culture, and we will talk again very soon. Bye.